Hey guys, it's that Dividend guy coming at you with another Robinhood portfolio update. I know that there are going to be some questions about why I sold out of McDonald's for FAF. It's pretty simple, guys. I did tell all my YouTube subscribers, all my viewers, that I'm focused on insurance this year. So insurance is going to be the main thing I'm buying this year, and that's true. The thing was, I did a lot more research into other companies because I had done research into the companies I own, like Allstate, like I did Prudential, Travelers, and Aflac, of course, is the one that I've done the most research on because that's the one I'm the most bullish on. But there were other companies that I had heard of that I hadn't really looked into. And First American was actually one that I found on Instagram, but I didn't look into it. So I this past weekend I looked into it and I loved the metrics of the company, and so I wanted to own it. But I'm trying to keep my list. Excuse me. Trying to keep my portfolio at around 15 stocks, so that kind of limits me because I don't want to have a large portfolio. I want to keep it below around like 20 stocks is the max I want to own, but I'm trying to keep it around 15. So currently I'm sitting at, I think it's like 13 or something like that. So I wanted to switch one out. Well, McDonald's is pretty expensive for the dividend that it pays, and I wanted more insurance. So I decided I wanted to sell out of McDonald's because I love the company. I like the CAGR. I like the business model. I understand it. I understand the company, but I want more insurance because I like the thought of people paying a premium into their insurance company every month versus people buying food that isn't good for them. Just morally, it was kind of an issue for me. And honestly, I've kind of thought about switching out Altria as well, but I like the alcohol portion of that company too much to switch it out. But that's the main reason why I like the business model more for FAF than I did for the franchise model for McDonald's. But there's nothing wrong with McDonald's. I still like the company. I might own it in the future. The other thing that I was thinking about this over the weekend was a lot of the companies that I've owned and sold out of are companies that I would own in, say, retirement. So they're companies that have a long track record of dividend payments, which I am looking for. But the problem with that strategy of only buying, say, Dividend Kings is they've kind of, I don't want to say that they've peaked, but they've proven themselves. But after a certain amount of time of increasing the dividend, you can't expect more than a single digit increase. And a lot of the time, I've noticed insurance companies do higher hikes or higher dividend increases than a lot of these big blue chip companies like, say, Johnson & Johnson or 3M or, like, I mean, AT&T. A lot of the companies that I've owned are only doing, maximum maybe 5 to 7%, if that, sometimes even less, for dividend increases. And then you look at something like a T. Rowe Price that I owned, or a an Allstate that just did a crazy big increase. I'm looking for companies that have a dividend growth streak that might not even be aristocrats, but that boost the dividend consistently, because that's what's going to build wealth faster than, say, a 2% increase by AT&T or a 2% increase by 3M. Nothing against the companies that I've named, because like I said, they're phenomenal companies, but I'm looking for more of a dividend growth oriented strategy, which is exactly why I wanted to get rid of McDonald's. I have more confidence that First American and, say, Aflac will grow the dividend more aggressively than, say, a 3M and a McDonald's. And I could totally be wrong. I'm not saying that that's 100% foolproof. I mean, anything can happen. But in my opinion, and the research that I've done, insurance just pays more aggressively when it comes to the dividend. So that's why I sold McDonald's stock. Nothing against McDonald's. I prefer the business model for insurance companies, and I'm more bullish on them than I am on McDonald's for the long term when it comes to dividend growth and the payout ratio. So, and the ability to increase the dividend, I'm more bullish on insurance companies than I am on McDonald's. So, I just wanted to go ahead and explain myself real quick because I know a lot of people are going to be asking questions. I'm going to be putting out Monday's video, and I'm sure people are going to be like, "What the heck?" I did mention it, and I did mention I was going to make a video about it. So, that's why I sold out of McDonald's, just because I feel like the CAGR for those companies, the bigger ones that have done the dividend growth for as long as they have, Of course, they deserve the status. They are great companies, but I want to own them later on, not in my 20s when I want that massive dividend hike and that consistency I can build upon with insurance a lot more aggressively than I can with, say, McDonald's. Another thing that I do want to point out is the dividend that I've been paid. So McDonald's, I only had two shares, which was about, say, 200 and there's sorry, $2.60 for 400 and what, $40. I'm getting paid about $3.50 by FAF. So the dividend, not only does the dividend grow more with First American percentage wise year over year, because I've only done it for 15 years, and I like the business model better, they also are cheaper so I can buy more, and for the amount I put in, I get more out of the dividend for FAF than I did with McDonald's, which is just reallocating capital, which is another very important um, job of an investor is to it's not necessarily a bad thing to hold on to stocks and get really attached to them, especially when they're world-class enterprises like a McDonald's or Johnson & Johnson or Procter & Gamble, some of the stocks I've named. But the problem is a lot of times people become very narrow-visioned with their portfolio, and I am constantly looking for a better investment. So let's say I don't know, I'll just throw a couple stocks out there. Let's say one day that AT&T doesn't pay a better dividend than Verizon. Well, then there's no reason for me to own AT&T anymore unless I like the business model better of AT&T and I have confidence in the company. So you see what I mean? So like if reallocating capital at one point for me dividend wise and payout ratio wise, if the company's healthier and pays a better dividend for the price I pay, Verizon versus AT&T and Verizon's the better investment and I'm more bullish on that company, then there's no reason that I would keep AT&T. I'd repurpose it, which is exactly what happened with McDonald's. So I just wanted to go ahead and explain, my thought process, exactly why I've been kind of selling out of a couple of those companies that I have been bullish on. I still love them, still will own them in the future. I plan on shifting my portfolio maybe in my mid 30s to something more like a McDonald's, a J&J, a Procter& and Gamble, Illinois Toolworks, Kimberly Clark, these big names that have these big growth streaks. I love them and I do want to own them, but I just don't want to own them right now because I feel like I've seen other opportunities like a WP Carey, like a Realty Income, like an AT&T for the price that I pay. The dividend's phenomenal. So I'm trying to restructure the portfolio in a way that will build dividend income more aggressively for the future than what it was currently. So I'm looking for future aristocrats and kings versus strictly just aristocrats and kings. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Just wanted to give you a quick update on why I switched out McDonald's for FAF. So thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to hit that subscribe button, and when you do, hit the bell notification so you don't miss any updates. I post videos Monday through Friday on my Robinhood portfolio, and I try to make videos of me buying and selling, what I do with the dividends that I receive and keep you guys completely up to date. And we just hit like 31K, so I'm super excited about that. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another Robinhood portfolio update. Take care, guys.